Hi guys, Greg T with BNI Alberta South, your area director on the marketing communication side. Just wanted to do a quick little, video tutorial on doing some presentations using Zoom. I've been had some requests saying that the way that the interface works and how you can share your presentations and so on and so forth, that the concern was that it might be different than Ring Central. Truth is, it's very much the same. Some of the problems that people, or some of the difficulties people might be running into, is that they're either not doing everything in the correct order that is necessary to make sure that you have the presentation tools available to you, or it may be the fact that the host needs to allow you to have access to sharing the screen as well. So just gonna kind of do a quick overview, or I guess walkthrough, as to how that works. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open up a Zoom meeting right here, and we'll kind of see how that works here. So hold on, bear with me here as we open Zoom. There we go, starting to join in. And I'm going to pull all of the screens that I have available show up here, because there may be yes, I'm muted, that's okay. There may be some things that you may not have been aware of that could make some of your presentations, some of your online meetings a little easier to run. So, and bear with me, there may be some things that you are totally, fully aware of at this stage as well. So all I'm doing is closing and making some of these windows a little bit smaller so they can all fit onto the screen for you. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. First of all, I need to claim ownership, or claim host rights for this meeting. So to do so, we're going to go down in here into the actual meeting here. I'm going to click on participants. That's going to open up the side window with all the different participants in this. Now, of course, it's only me at this point, so not a big deal. We should turn on the video. There you go. You can see who it is. I'd recommend using a light too, just kind of a light showing here. Actually, it's not an expensive one, straight up. Anyway, so here we are. This is all set now. You guys can hear this. I have my self muted for the presentation, but that's okay. So here we go. I'm going to go to first of all, claim host. Click that button. I'm going to type in the the number that's there, and we're going to get that going there. Now I am the host, so I can do whatever. Now, when we have someone who's in there in the rooms with us, we can actually go into the more section. We can set them as co-host as well, so they can help to participate too. Some of the screen sharing things that are available here. If we look here, one participant can share at a time. Advanced sharing options. We've got all these things. Now, I'd recommend you go and explore some of this. Here, who can share? Only hosts, all participants. Who can start sharing when someone else is sharing? Only the host, all participants, so that kind of stuff. Multiple participants can share simultaneously, so you can have dual monitor things happening. Lots of stuff there. Now, what I'd recommend, though, just to make life easier for you, is just let the host run the show as far as the sharing and stuff is concerned. If you have a back and forth as far as the presenter who's presenting the main part of the meeting, and someone has their own slides, comes in and needs to see the notes, that's where we're going to run into some back and forths. It's not a big deal. You just have to assign them as host and have it preset, so you've talked prior to the meeting, that the other person can then understand how to get you back as the host. You can go back and forth. So it'll involve a little bit of changing of screens. So you'll see a little bit more of this as far as the face and that before we jump onto the different screens. So let's do a quick share, okay, of how the whole screen share thing works, and I'll give you those steps. So I'm the host. I have a presentation to share, and I want to actually have those presentation notes. So I'm going to go click here. Here's the presentation I'm going to use. This happens to be the roundtable one that's coming up on the 15th, but nothing's giving away anything here, so that's good. I'm going to go to the arrow on the present bar. Now that's the key part. Now this is the thing that's important. You must do in the right order. Prior to sharing my screen, I need to set this up. If I don't set it up prior to sharing my screen, it's not going to show the same for me. Okay. So I'm going to say presenter view, because it's going to present with an audience, Q&A, and view speaker notes. That's the key part that I want there. Click there. Here's my speaker notes popping up right there. And here is, okay, don't worry about this warning. It's not a big deal. Here is the presentation ready to share. It's not being shared. It is ready to share, okay? So now I'm going to go back into the Zoom meeting here. I'm sorry, I got to move this so I can see. I've reduced everything really small, so it's hard for me to find everything. So here, we're going to go into, okay, here's the more section. Share screen. Now, I've reduced my screen so much it's hard to see. If you expand it, it does show up. Okay, so I'm going to hit share screen. It's going to show all the different ones I can share. I'm going to click this one right here and share. So now this screen here is the one that's being shared on Zoom. How do I know that? Let's go into Zoom and take a look here. Okay. Sorry, I'm just going to hide this screen here. I don't need this one. That's unnecessary. And I'm going to drag the one here. Oh no, this is the one view for me. Oops, didn't mean to do that. I'm just going to escape here and make this a smaller screen. There we go. Okay, so this is just the viewer I have. Okay, now here's some of the things that people are having difficulties with, is that they can't see the people, right? So here's what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is from the Zoom menu, so make sure Zoom is the forefront or the active application, not the Chrome in this case, the browser viewer that I have the presentation in. I'm going to go up to View in Zoom, and I'm going to show Manage Participants. Okay, that's then going to open up a window just like this, so I can see all the people that are there. And then I'm going to also go View, and I'm going to say Show Chat. And this is open here, right there. So this will show the chat for me as well. So right now, I have the ability to see who all the participants are, okay, and see any chat that's happening there in case I want to monitor that. Now, I can have my co-host do this for me, by all means, and I do recommend that to make life easier, more flowing for your presentation. But going back to this, I have the full view of what my presentation is, okay, and what the next slides are, and all I have to do is go, okay. If these were my notes, I could say, hey, this is the introduction slide. It's really important to keep and maintain this for connection notes. Recording and permission statement is important to have. Keep it and mention that at the beginning of the event. And of course, you want to change the title and the date. Next, Facebook check-in. Please continue to check in even for our online meetings. Use the hashtags as noted, and as they are part of our BNI Canada campaign to help us when it comes down to reaching more people and showing people that BNI is still a great place to be, thus helping to bring our members more business as well. So we do want to make sure people are understanding that BNI is still alive and still well and doing well for its members. And that is kind of how the presentation goes. Then we can kind of roll from there. You know, here's our thing here. This is our BNI Alberta events page. Here's our, make sure we have our cell phones. Oh, and our microphones off if we're not presenting, so on and so forth. So that gives you the quick overview about that. So once I get to the end of the presentation, right, I can shut this portion down. So what I'll do is go back to the browser here. I'm going to click on the presentation portion here. And again, I'm going to have to move some of these things so we can't, it's hard to work this stuff here when I've got all these things happening. So I'm going to click exit here, and there I've now escaped that. Now the thing is, I'm still sharing the screen. So ideally, the better way of approaching this would be to go into Zoom, okay, prior to stopping the screen share. Okay, and then going right here to the Zoom window, which I have moved here. You can see this here. It's something you move. And the cool thing about this is you can move all of your different screens and toggles and stuff to different places and hide them and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so I'm going to now stop the share. And when I stop the share, it just brings us back to the viewer here that we would have for our participants. Now, normally there'd be some other selections here as far as speaker view or having it in participants view. So we have like everybody labeled in a grid pattern. There's different ways to do that, and you know, do what's going to work for you. Again, my recommendation is go in just like I have right here. Okay, use one of the meeting links that you've been given. I'm assuming that the people are paying attention to the ones who are running the meetings. So you're able to go in and play with it, okay? Check out some of the different things that you can actually do in there. Maybe bring somebody in if you want to experiment with some of the participants and who's there and who can work with you. I'm doing this all by myself and managed to go in and do a lot of different things to see how that flow works. And I understand it can be a little daunting and it can be potentially overwhelming feeling, but you know, it's a little bit of experience and a little bit of, I guess, information like this, and it can help. This isn't the be-all and end-all of everything either. I've heard some amazing suggestions from a lot of chapter members who have had experience with Zoom and, you know, hey, if you do this, you can get this more information here, and you can check this out. Like I can go here, we can set our breakout rooms, and we're going to do this. They know how to work this, and they've got the ins and outs. Highly recommended. Listen to that. We're working this together, and ultimately we're coming out a lot stronger than what I'll be quite frank than I expected this to really go in. I heard a note yesterday that there's a chapter in our region who's had 100% participation in all 3 weeks of BNI Online, and well done. You know, that's awesome. And not just for business. Okay, yes, business is important, and we're still pushing forward, trying to help each other on the business level by all means. But they're there helping, and they're there to participate with each other and see what we can do. We've been trying to make sure on a regional level we're reaching out to say, hey, do you need anything? I mean, side of business even, what do you need anything? And understand that's not something that people want to necessarily publicize, but reach out to your team. Reach out to your chapter teams, your chapter members. Reach out to your ambassadors, your director consultants. Reach out to the region, and really, we are there for you. And we're not just saying that as fluff. Can't stress that enough. We want to do what we can. Now, everybody's struggling. Everybody's having a difficult time. But ultimately, things like this, we're working together. So thanks a lot, guys. I'm going to end this meeting. There we go. And the meeting for all. That's going to close down. And now it's just the screens. And all I'm going to say is thank you so much. Good to see you. If you have any questions, reach out. Greg T at theimagestop.com or Greg at theimagestop.com, or you can also use my thebrandguy.ca email shown right here on the screen. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.